I want to talk to you about, because I get this question a lot, right? Is the question about skills. Okay, I get this question a lot, and unfortunately, is this whole discussion about skills. It's it's very misleading. The material that exists, it's fairly misleading, unfortunately, because a lot of people confuse, kind of get very confused about skills. So I just want to clear up some things here. Just gonna get, where's this light coming from? Maybe if I do this here. Nope. Where's this light coming from? Over there, I think. All right, that's okay. So, there's one thing. There's one very, very important thing about skills, right? So, first of all, developers. I'm sure you've seen this before, right? Developers are fanatic, right, or addicted to learning, right? Have you seen here, for example? Tell me on the chat if you ever bought, you paid money for an online training and you never even watch it, right? So, it sits there or when you need it, right? Or, if you bought some books that you wanted to read, or that's technology you want to learn, you bought the books, but you never read the books, right? So tell me if you ever done that, right? If you ever bought books and trainings that you never participate at, right? So this is very, very normal. You see, every developer has done that many times in the past. I have done that many times in the past. So basically, this whole idea, we are kind of addicted to learning, right? So we think that the most important thing is to learn new stuff, right? Oh, we don't learn new stuff. Yeah, I have a few of those, Scott, right? Yes. So we think it's all about learning. So we want to learn new stuff. We want to learn new technology. We come here. Actually, there was a talk here today. Okay, a bunch of them, right? So there's a talk here today about how to cope with so many technologies. I mean, so this whole message, this whole thing about learn, right? It's really hard, right? And now the problem is that it's not about learning. That's the thing. That's really a thing. I actually wrote an article that says, learn everything. Trying to learn everything is going to destroy your career, because I really think it will. So it's not about learning. The whole point is not to learn. The whole point is skills, right? What do we mean by skills? So we know at the same time that we are addicted to learn, we want to learn everything. We also know that learning, it's not the most important part, right? Learning is not the most important thing. Why? Right? Because we know that, right? For example, when you're doing a resume, you're doing a curriculum to send to a company, do you list all the books you read? Do you list all these courses that you did? Sometimes you list some courses, right? But you don't list everything you learn it, right? What do you list on your curriculum, right? On your curriculum, you list your experience, right? So in a way, we understand that what counts, it's not what we learn, but is the experience that we acquired. And why is the experience that counts? The reason why the experience that counts is because what matters is not our knowledge, right? What matters is our skills. That's what matters. So it's not about knowledge, it's about skills. So knowledge, it's a bunch of unconnected memories in the brain, right? They're very hard to access. It's very slow for the brain to access knowledge. And worst of all, when you access one, right, it doesn't connect with anything else, right? So it's just this one thing. Now, skills in your brain is completely different, because the skills is a bunch of connected memories, right? That means, they're very fast to access, and any one that you access, you get the whole thing, right? So that means that, that's why, for example, when you have, let's say, like a physical skill, right? You're doing flips with your skate, right? Like a skateboard, and you do flips with a skateboard, right? You do things, right? That's like looks like magic, right? The way you move, the way your body moves, it's very fast. So when you're doing it, you're not thinking, right? It's not memories, right? So memory would be, oh yes, I have to, to do a flip. And for me to do a flip, I have to move my feet that way. I have to move my feet the other way, right? That is knowledge, right? That's like unconnected memories. But when you connect them on a skill, right, then what happens is that the whole thing just happens, right? That's the whole thing. And that's why when you ask, right, someone that's professional, you ask, man, that's amazing. How do you do that? And the usual answer is, I don't know. I just do it. I don't know how you do this. I just do it, because that's skills, right? Skills is connected memories. Now, the way this works in your brain is it's biological, right? It's not philosophical. It's biological. The way it works in your brain is that the more you do something, right? You remember that your brain is composed with billions of neurons, right? You remember that little cell that you learned it in biology class, right? A cell like this, right? Your brain is composed of millions of those cells, right? And they're all connected, right? And like there's another one right here, right? So they're all connected. So your brain is composed of millions of those guys, and so basically everything that's happening, right? All the skills, all the movement that you do in your body, all the learning that you do, everything that you do is electricity going through those guys, right? So it's like an electrical signal that travels your neurons, and basically what skills work? How do skills work? Because that's your brain works exactly like a muscle, right? Completely. Well, let me make this comparison, right? So your brain cells, let me say this, your brain cells, they work similarly to what a muscle cell works. That means, every time there is electricity going on the neurons, every time there is a spark, right, of it's not really a spark, right? Let's see, but you know what I mean, right? Every time there's the biological process that transfer electricity over the brain. What happens is that the neurons, there are usage. The brain starts to say, okay, those neurons are being used, right? So because they're being used, we need to improve them. That's basically what your brain does. Like same as a muscle, right? So basically, what the brain does, that the brain uses a thing called myelin, and you might have remember that from your school times. Myelin is draw something like this, right? It's like those little, because it's actually that's actually how it is, right? It's like these little bumps on the neurons, right? It's like something like this, right? So that basically that is the myelin cover, right? And so basically, when there's electricity going to the neurons, the brain covers that, because this is not like a packet, right? This is like a spiral, like a actually it's like this, right? The neuron is right here. So the neuron's like well, this is a wrap. That's why it's called myelin wrap. So it wraps around, right? So the neuron is this tiny little thing right here. So the myelin is a wrap that goes around, right? So every time that electricity comes on, the brain covers the neuron with myelin, right? And the more the neuron is activated, the more energy goes on the neuron, the more wraps of myelin your brain puts around the neuron, right? So basically what happens that, and myelin it's used to isolate, right? So basically, the more myelin there exists around the neuron, the faster the electricity goes through it, right? That's the cool stuff, right? So the more myelin there's around your neuron, the faster the impulse goes. What, Bruno, come on, why are you talking about all these kind of things? It's crazy. Well, yeah, the craziness here is that you realize this, right? So basically, myelin, it's put on the neurons that you use, right? Your brain puts myelin around the neurons that you use. That's why when you do things, right? Every time you do things, your brain puts myelin around. If you don't use those things, then your brain doesn't put myelin around. So, for example, when you learn something, if you learn something and you don't apply, right? You learn but don't use, then what happens? Your neurons that are activated are the learning neurons and not the doing neurons, right? Let's put it this way. So, for example, if you learn about basketball and you learn all the techniques to throw the ball in the hoop, but you never throw the ball in the hoop, right? So then you might have all these memories about reading and all this kind of things. So you know a lot about basketball because you study basketball, but you don't know how to play basketball because you don't play basketball. So that's a reality. A lot of people like this, right? So then, and a lot of developers like this, right? You keep reading, learn, but you never apply the technology in a project, right? So that's the same thing as someone that learns, study basketball, but never plays basketball. So then the neurons that's of learning are activated, not the neurons of doing, right? So then you never get good at that stuff. Now, what happened? Why this myelin thing is important, right? Because when the electricity goes here, right? It goes faster when there's more myelin. And how faster? It goes up to 100 times faster, right? It goes to 100 times faster. But more than that, right? It gets up to 10 times more activate. It gets 10 times easier to activate the neurons, right? So let's say you need I don't know, I have no idea how much, but let's say you need some impulse here to activate the next neuron, right? So if there's a lot of myelin on the neuron is easier to activate, right? It's 10 times easier to activate and up to 100 times faster to move. That means the electrical signal goes like this, right? Really fast in your brain because your brain's full of myelin, right? That's the biology behind it. So now, if you don't activate the neurons, what happens? If you don't activate the neurons, there's no myelin. It's simple like this, right? There's no way, right? You can't fake that. So if you don't activate the neurons, there's no myelin. If there's no myelin, your neuron keeps being slow, right? So people that are 100 times faster than you. You know what we call when you see someone that's 100 times faster than us? We call this magic, right? We call the guy Magic Johnson, right? Why? Why he's called Magic Johnson? Because 100 times faster. It's magic, right? You see a developer, you say, man, that's magic, right? He knows, right, the answer. He just knows it. How does he just knows it? Well, it's not that he just knows it. It's just that his neurons are 100 times faster than yours, right? And so it's, the whole thing happens so fast that for everyone around looks like, whoa, he just knows it, right? Even for himself. Because you ask him, how you do this? Oh, I don't know. I just do it. But the way that you get to this is by doing things. It's by activating the neurons. If you don't activate the neurons, nothing happens. So when you talk about skills, that's why skills are so important. When you talk about skills is not about learning. It's skills about experience. It's about doing things. And then you get a skill because then you get memory that's connected. Lots of neurons that are very full of myelin and they're very fast. Then you have a skill. So experience, forcing, doing many times every day, forcing your brain gives you experience. And that experience transforms, that experience is codified, let's say, in skills, right? Because of your brain. Make sense, this whole thing here? So look, really, you got to stop learning, right? You got to start doing. Okay, so it's not like I'm going to learn from each do in the future. No, no, no. It's I'm going to do, and I'm going to try to learn enough for me to keep doing every day. Okay? So this is the most important thing I can tell you right now, is that the only thing that matters is doing. Right? So go do things, right? All the time, go do things. So then the problem that we see here is that what is the biggest problem when we talk about doing? What is the biggest problem, right, that I see on software development? Now that you understand that skills, you only acquire skills by doing. Now that you understand that learning is not the most important thing, the most important thing is doing things. Now that you understand all of that, let me tell you the biggest problem that I see in terms of skills from software development is those things that we call, hard skills, and the things that we call soft skills. I'm sure you heard this many times. Hard skills are the technical skills. Soft skills are the people, emotional skills. You've heard this many times from many different people. And yesterday someone sent me a video, say, Bruno, take a look at those videos and, talk about hard skills or soft skills. And then the video would say the hard skills are the skills you need for your job. And the soft skills are the skills that would be good for your job, but not needed for the job. Right? So there's a lot of confusion. None of this is true. What this video is saying, no, it's not true. The hard skills are the ones needed for the job, and the soft skills are the optional ones. It's not true. It is also not true that the hard skills are the technical skills and the soft skills are the people skills. That's not true either. None of that's true. It's amazing how people still think about this that way. So hard skills, they are hard, not because they're difficult, right? They are hard because they are precise. So we should call them precise skills, right? Not hard. We should call them precise skills. And soft skills, they're not soft because they're easy. They're soft because they're malleable. They're malleable skills, right? So let's not talk about soft skills, not hard skills anymore. Let's talk about precise skills and malleable skills. So now you can start seeing what the important things, right? So for example, a precise skill, it's one that you have to be very precise, right? So the more exact you apply that skill, the better you get. So for a good example of that is a keyboard, right? A keyboard, typing on the keyboard is a precise skill, right? I can't just put my finger somewhere and start typing. It's not going to work, right? I need to put my fingers in the perfect place. I don't even need to look at the keyboard. I know exactly where my fingers go, and I can type. The better I am in coordinating my muscles to type exactly on the right position of the key, the faster I'm going to type, right? So precise skills are those that require precision on your movements, on your thinking, on whatever. It's like it's precision. So it's not about, changing things, about doing exactly the way they are supposed to be, right? It's like exact, right? So those are exact skills. They are precise skills. Make sense? So precise skills are very important. So you can't be a developer if you don't know how to type on the keyboard. You can't be a developer if you don't know a programming language. A programming language is precise, right? You don't keep changing it to see how things go, right? The programming language is precise. The better you know, Java, for example, right? The more you know how the keywords work together, the more you know how to type a Java program, the better a Java developer you're going to be, because they're very, very important. Precise skills are very important. So, for example, if you want to play a violin, right, the whole movement of the violin is a precise movement. You do exactly what needs to be done, right? Okay, so those are precise skills, right? Now, we also have some malleable skills, right? Malleable skills are those that you never apply them twice the same way, right? They're different. They're applied when they need it. Now, they apply in different ways. So malleable skills are the ones that they're not about precision. They're about pattern matching, right? Precise skills are the ones that, depending on the situation, you use this skill a little bit different, right? So now, so when you think about hard skills and precise skills, let's think about basketball, right? For example, so in basketball, you're stopping right here and you're throwing the ball in the hoop. That's a precise skill, right? The better you move your hands, the better the better you push the ball, the more exact that you do the movement, the more chance you have to hit the hoop, right? You have to hit the hoop. So that's why basketball players practice throwing free throws, right? Because the better you throw a free throw, the better, the more precise your hand movements, the better is going to be the free throw. Now, if you're amazing at doing free throws in basketball, does that make you a great basketball player? No, it does not, right? So, for you to be a good basketball player, you need to do more than hoops, right? You need to do other things. So, for example, hitting the ball control, that's a precise, it's a hard skill, it's a precise skill. Now, playing the game, right? Playing basketball, it's not about being precise, it's about being malleable. But playing basketball, you have to have, there's other players around, you have to see where things go, you do things different. There's a huge guy in front of you. You do one thing. There's no one in front of you. You do another thing. I mean, there's all kinds of different things. It depends on the game. It's a malleable skill. So playing basketball, it's a soft skill, malleable skill. Although parts of the basketball game are hard skill, are precise skill. Make sense? So let's apply this to software development, right? So which part of software development is hard? It's precise. A programming language is precise. The keyboard is precise. Your IDE shortcut is precise, right? Refactoring, right? It's, well, maybe not really. Right? I mean, applying a refactor, it might be a precise thing, right? But the thing is, what is malleable in software development? A lot of things are malleable, right? So for example, software development itself is about solving problems. So you apply different techniques for every type of problem, right? So so software development, it's pattern matching. You recognize a problem, you recognize a situation, you apply different strategy, right? So soft skills are about strategies, right? So you apply a different strategy to solve that problem. So software development itself, it's a soft skill. It's not a hard skill, it's a soft skill. So software development is a soft skill, it's a malleable skill. Although writing code in a programming language, it's a precise skill. So everything you do in your life, you need both. You need both hard skills and soft skills to really get you anywhere. Okay, now the problem is that a lot of developers have heard that soft skills is all about people, it's all about speaking. Oh, speaking is a soft skill. So a lot of developers think, okay, I don't need to worry about my soft skills, I just need to worry about my hard skills, my precise skills. Because there is one confusion. A lot of people say hard skills are technical, right? A lot of people say that hard skills are technical. Yes, hard skills are technical. The problem, it is not technical as you think technical, because you are a technical person, right? And so you think, oh, what I do, it's a hard skill because it's a technical. But that's the problem is, this technical here is not about technology. This technical here is about technique. It's a technical about a technique, right? So it's a hard skill is a skill that has a specific technique. For example, right? Typing on the keyboard, there's a specific technique, right? I can come here, and even if I'm not seeing, okay, right here, right? So that's the place where I had to put my fingers, right? Okay, right? Even without looking, right? Actually, I was looking because kind of, I don't know. But right here, that's where I have to put my fingers, right? The technique. It's a technique, right? It's not technical like Java is technical, right? It's a technique. So hard skills are techniques that you have to do, they have to use, right? So is software development a technique? It's not, right? So software development is a solving problem skill, right? So it's not a technique. So hard skills are technical because of a technique. Soft skills are malleable skills, right? So what happens here is that if you, as a developer, if you apply strategies to learn hard skills for your software development, that's actually a malleable skill, what happens? You're going to do what everyone tells you, right? You're going to repeat things. That's hard skills you learn by repetition. That's how you learn hard skills, by repetition. Repeat. Now, malleable skills, soft skills, you learn by, putting yourself in different situations, right? So it's experimenting. Experimenting in different situations, right? So now, what happens is, if you think that what you do as a developer is a hard skill, then you're going to do repetition. For what? To learn the techniques and then be very good at hard skill. But if software development is actually a soft skill, it's a malleable skill. What do you have to do? You have to experiment. You have to try. You have to make mistakes. You have to do a lot of things. So that's why developers think that, oh, I can't make mistakes. I got to be precise. Oh, I got to be precise, so I can't make mistakes. And then people don't do things because they're worried about being precise. They're worried about make mistakes. When, since software development is a soft skill, experimenting, it's all about making mistakes. Make sense? So that is the biggest problem that I see in terms of skills for software developers, right? So, for example, I was with James Gosling on Wednesday, right? 2 days ago, I had a webinar with James Gosling. I asked him, James, what is the most important skill? The most important skill for a software developer? You know what he said? He said curiosity. Curiosity is the most important skill for a software developer. Now, my question is, curiosity is a hard skill? It's a precise skill? Or it's a malleable skill? Curiosity is a soft, malleable skill. So how come someone can tell me that, oh, hard skill are the ones you need for your work, if the most important skill, according to James Gosling, for a developer is actually a soft skill? Think about that. Soft skills are extremely important for you, not because it's a communication skill. Soft skills are really important for you because you, as a developer, that's your main skill. Is software development is a soft skill, is a malleable skill. So we got to understand, malleable skills are all about experimenting, a lot about making mistakes, a lot about trying. So, for example, I was talking with a friend of mine just yesterday. I was talking to a friend of mine, and he was telling me, Bruno, I'm desperate. My work, there's a lot of things that I need to do, and my boss is asking me to do things, but those are new things that I don't know enough. So, I'm very afraid of making mistakes, and then, I have to solve the problem, but I don't know exactly what it is, and so I feel like I'm a terrible developer. Well, and I was telling him, look, software development is a soft skill, right? So if you're doing something that you haven't done before, that's exactly what you're going to feel like. You're going to feel like, I'm not very good, because that's exactly what happens with soft skills, right? And then, although you can be very good at hard skills, you can be very good at writing Java code, you can be very good at all of that, if you don't understand that soft skills are about experimenting, about making mistakes, and about feeling uncomfortable all the time, then you're going to feel terrible. You're going to feel a bad developer because you don't understand that this is normal. That's what we expect. So, for example, if you talk to a speaker, he's going to tell you, look, it doesn't matter how many times I speak, I always get nervous. Why do we always get nervous? Because it's about experimenting. I don't know. I have never been to this audience. I'm not sure if it's gonna work. I don't know if they're gonna like it. I'm not sure if they're gonna respond to me in the chat. There's no one saying anything in the chat, so maybe they're all gone, right? They don't care about this anymore. Who knows? We don't know. So we are always nervous about our talk. Why? Because all of this is a soft skill. You know, because if it's something about repetition, you won't have a problem. You know, no one gets nervous to type on the keyboard, right? Because that's a repetition that you do many, many times. So, you know, so soft skills give us this crazy feeling that we are inadequate. That's why we have the imposter syndrome, right? Because soft skills give us the imposter syndrome, right? Not because we're imposters, but because we think that we never did that before, because that's true. We never did that before. That's what soft development is all about. That's what soft skills are all about, right? You know, so this is really important. This can free your mind to actually focus on the important things, to actually focus on the right skills, and it can help you change the fact that, you know, you can devise things they're going to tell you, okay, so once you understand something is a precise skill, you're going to do repetition and practice by doing repetition. And when you're going to do malleable skills, you're going to experiment new things all the time. So that's, you know, so once you know this, you can apply the right technique for the different types of skills. Make sense? Right? So this is, it's really, really important. So every time you're going to do a skill, think about, is this a precise skill? Is this something that I'm going to repeat the same over and over and over until I get very good at this? Or is this a malleable skill that I have to experiment? Now notice what's common on both hard skills and soft skills, on both precise skills and malleable skills. What's common about those two things? There's one thing that's extremely common. Both of them, you only get better by doing. There's no learning. It's all about doing, right? But Bruno, I need to learn to do. Yes, you need to learn to do, right? Not just learn, okay? It's doing. You got to learn to do, right? So you have a focus. I'm going to do this. So I learn and do, learn and do, learn and do. Not learn, and maybe sometime in the future I might be able to do. No, it's all do, and learn enough to do more. Make sense? So that's my conversation here about skills that I wanted to present to you guys, because I really think we need to fix that. We need to understand what hard skills are. We need to understand what soft skills are, because once we do, then our whole life is going to be a lot better, a lot easier, right? Okay. So questions, comments, discussions. What do you guys think about this? You know, how many times have you struggled with soft skills and hard skills before? You know, we're getting to the end of the event, you know, for the end of today, right? And so I just want to make sure that all your questions, all of your difficulties in terms of career are solved at this event, right? So tell me what's going on right now that I can help you with. You know, you have questions, you have discussions. So there's nothing going on right now at the event at the same time, right? So, you know, it's 11 p.m. Brazil time. So at the event, what do we have at the event here? We have nothing, right? So it's only me now. Live mentorship with you. So this is the last moment of the event. So I wanna see if you're still there. I want to hear your questions. I want to see what's going on. And unless you're too tired and you want to go home, that's also good. But I want to hear your question. So what is the biggest challenge you're facing right now in terms of your career, so I can help you out? No one's, Bruno said, as you here just listening. Siolav said that I'm here, but that's it, right? What is the question? So what is the biggest question you have in your mind right now? Why did you come to this event? Like, I'm going to go to this event to solve this problem. Did you solve it? If not, this is the time to work it out. Okay. So now, why are you thinking about this? Let me ask you, I really would love if you could help us out on reaching out to more developers, right? So I'm going to send you an email probably tomorrow. Probably not tomorrow. Probably some other time. Asking you to talk about the event, right? So on that email, I'm going to put this link right here, right? So give us your, how do you call this, testimony or quotes? Give us your quote about the event, right? So if you can, please, you can click on this link, or you can go on the expo area. Remember, the expo area, there's a lot of gifts for a lot of people, so you can go there and get your gift before the event ends, right? So I'd love that you get as many gifts as you want, but I'd love if you could click on that link. I just posted on the chat right now, and it's also on the first booth of the expo area. And and tell us what you love about the event, right? Or how the event helped you, because we want to use those videos, right? So it's going to open up a page where you can record a little video. It can be like a 1-minute video, 30-second video, doesn't matter. You just do that. And so what we want is that we want to have those videos so we can show to other people, and you can tell other people, look, your career is going to be great, so come here with us, right? So we can have more people having the benefit of improving their career. So if you want more people to join in, if you want more people if you want to help more people, I love that you could record a little video. It could be a short video. It's not anything long. It's just telling us what you like about the event, how much it helped, if it was good for you or not. I would love if you could do that. Okay, and then I'm going to answer questions now to see. Some water here. All right. Okay. So CLS mentions how to develop a successful career. All right, let's tackle this a little bit. And Bruno Moraes says, here in my company, I have an issue. I'm trying to reach and bring new things, but as I think, I'm focused the correct way. So I'm not sure if I understand the question, Bruno. I'm trying to reach and bring new things. Okay, so you're trying to get new things to your project. Convince people to use new technology. I think that's what you're saying. But then I think I am focused. So you're not sure you focus on the right new technology. I'm not sure. I understand you don't know if you're focusing the right way, but what exactly way you're focusing, right? That's what I want to know. Like, what exactly what is the exact way that what is the results you want? Actually, that's the better question, Bruno. What are the results you want that you're not so sure they're working or not, right? So what are the results you want? Okay, so let me start with Solex, right? So we're gonna have how to develop a successful career. So here, So first of all, CLX, we have to we have to think what is a career to begin with, right? Because Heinz, for example, said this morning that he said that he doesn't have a career because he has his own company, and I think he was thinking a career in a very specific way, right? Career is more than what exactly he was talking about, right? So so here's what a career is, right? Here are the bunch of things that you like, things that you love, right? Things that you love to do, right? You might love to play basketball. You might love to play soccer. You might love to write software. I mean, those are the things you love to do. And then we have here the things you're very good at, right? And, not everything you love, you're very good at. You may love soccer or basketball, but be terrible at it, right? So you just watch it instead of playing, right? And not everything you're good at, you love, right? So maybe you're very good. I don't know. You might be very good in biology, right? But you don't like it, right? You're not interested in this, right? So no. So, but there is a certain number of things that you love and you're very good at, right? So there is an intersection there. So maybe you love software development and you're very good at software development. So that could be an example of something you love and you're very good at. Then there's a third circle here that those are the things that pay you money, right? Either pay you or potentially pays you money, right? So so that's it. So here's, not everything you love pays you money, right? Not everything that pays you money you're very good at, and vice versa, right? So now the important things here, CLX, is the intersection. The intersection is the important thing, right? So for example, it doesn't matter the things that you love, right? It's the intersection that matter. So for example, the things that you love and you're very good at. Actually, let me start this. The things that you're very good at, things that you're very good at, and that you get money for, you're very good at, you get money for, but you don't love, that's a job, right? That's why a lot of people think that a career is a job. No, a career is not a job, right? A job is something that you're very good at, pays you money, but you just want to do that because someone is paying you money. Right? If people stop paying you money, you're going to stop doing. Right. Now, the things that you love, right, and you're very good at, but you don't get money for it, things that you love, you're very good at, but you don't get money for it, that's a hobby, right? You know very well that's a lot of people are very, very good at their hobbies, right? Remember that, for example, that I'm not sure exactly when that changed, but for a time at least, the Olympics is just amateur athletes, right? I don't think it's that anymore, but for a time it was, right? So that's a hobby, right? It's someone that you love it, you're very good at, you could be amazing at it, but you don't make money out of this, right? That's a hobby. So I'm sure you know a lot of people that have cool hobbies, right? Maybe they build Legos, for example, right? They love it. They're very good at building Legos, but they don't make money out of that. Or me, I do puppets. So I love puppets, and I do puppets. So I build puppets. I'm a puppeteer. I'm a ventriloquist, right? But I'm actually very good at, but I don't make money out of this. So that's a hobby, right? Okay. So then there are things that you love, right, that could potentially pay you lots of money, okay, or even you get money out of it today, but you're not very good at, right? So that is a dream, okay? So maybe you're a musician, for example, right? So you play music on the bars at night, right? So it could potentially pay you a lot of money, right? But then you don't play enough that actually makes you just do that, right? Now the intersection in the middle, the intersection right here in the middle, that's where it's a sweet spot, right? This is a sweet spot right here, right? Those are the things that, you know, you love, you're very good at, and you make lots of money for. You love, you're good at, you make lots of money for. If you could make lots of money for something that you love to do and you're very good at doing it, is that a job? I mean, you could do this for the rest of your life. You're never going to even retire because you love to do it. So that is a career, right? A career is the thing that you love, you're very good at, and you make lots of money off. So I think Heinz has a very cool career, right? But I want you to understand that not everyone has a career. A lot of people have jobs, and that's okay. You know, you don't have to have a career to have a good life. You know, there's a lot of people do have jobs. I mean, they go work from 9 to 5. They go back home. They take care of their families. I mean, they go do something else. They don't care, right? You know, that it's okay to have a job. But now, if you want to have a career, that's an awesome thing for you to do, because then you can do a lot of it, right? You can be even better. You can even make more money because you're loving it, right? So that is what a career is all about. So now, Silex asks, how to develop a successful career? Well, you have to find a sweet spot. That is a career, Silex. If you don't find a sweet spot, then that's not a career. So how do you do this then? Well, my suggestion is always the following. Okay, you start from wherever you are right now. You always start from where you are. So what do you have right now? Do you have a job? I mean, I'm sure all of you have jobs, hobbies, and dreams. All of you have those three things. So choose one. Which one you rather turn into a career? Do you want to transform your job into a career? Right? Maybe you're a soft developer and you want to transform your job into a career. So that would be awesome, right? Because you're already being paid for it. You're already very good at. So all you need to do is love it. Oh, I need to do is love it. How can I love something that I don't love right now? Well, so that's basically, you have to move and you start loving it, right? What I mean by start loving it? Well, you know, go stop doing the things that you don't love and do more of the things that you love, because every job, there are parts of the job you like and parts you don't like. So for example, maybe you love programming, but you hate the fact that your boss is the one that tells you everything you're free to do. So you want to get a job, or you're going to get a career by doing only what you want. All right. So then if you do this, then you eliminate the parts of the job that you don't like, and you promote the parts of the job that you like, and then you turn your job into a career. Right? Let's say you have a hobby, right? So for example, I told you I build puppets, and I'm a puppeteer, right? So if I have a hobby, I might want to transform my hobby into a career, right? And then how do I do this? Well, I'm going to learn how to make money out of my hobby. That's an awesome thing to do, right? If I have a hobby, I already love it, I'm already very good at, so I just need to figure out how to make money. Whoa, that's awesome, right? So let's make money out of my hobby. A lot of people tell me, no. On the day that I transform my hobby into something that makes me money, I'm going to hate my hobby. All right. That's not the way. Okay. Let me tell you this. That's not the way. You know, if you're going to hate what you love to do because it's making you money, something is wrong, my opinion. Right. But I understand if you turn your hobby into something that you have obligations, and you don't have obligations, you just want to do your hobby whenever you want, then that might be a problem. But if you transform your hobby into something that you can do whatever you want, and that makes you money, well, then you have a career. You transform your hobby into a career, and it works ways. Awesome. Now, what if I have a dream? Right? Same thing. So a dream is something I love, I can make lots of money for, but I'm not good enough. Well, go learn it. Go apply it. Go do it. Go experiment it. Go create the skills, right? Because if you create these skills, you're going to go from I'm not good enough to I'm awesome, and then you have a career again. Make sense? So here, you go build these skills. You go build the skills that allow you to be good enough. Here, you're going to build these skills, right? That will allow you to only do the best part. And here, you're going to build the skills of making money, right? So all of this is about creating the right skills, the skills you're missing. So how to develop a successful career, CLX? Long answer, but how to develop a successful career? You think about all these things here, and then you figure out what are the skills I'm missing that will turn my job into a career, that will turn my hobby into a career, that will turn my dream into a career. What are the skills I'm missing? Now, that's a harder question for me to answer, Sholax, because I don't know. I neither know what your career is going to be, nor I know what are the skills that you want to build, nor which situation you're doing here. But I think that this is the best way to develop a successful career, right? Is actually think about what is that you really want to do and decide how you're going to get there. Make sense, Jolex? So Bruno is saying, I want to improve my knowledge and also bring new technologies. I print the screen, realistic and excellent explanation. All right, cool. Thanks, Jolex. Awesome. Awesome. All right, so that's very, very cool. Okay, so let's see what Bruno is talking about, right? I want to improve my knowledge and also bring new methodologies, but I don't know how. So you want to do, okay, so basically you want to do, so just answer me one thing, Bruno. You don't know how to improve your knowledge, you don't know how to bring new technologies, or you don't know how to convince your boss that you need to learn and bring new technology. So what is the problem, Bruno? I want to see what the problem is so I can answer it. So you don't know how to learn, you don't know how to bring new technologies, or you don't know how to convince your boss so you can learn and bring new methodologies. What is exactly that's your problem? All right, Bruno. So I will start with what I think it is, right? And then you tell me if I'm right or wrong, Bruno. Actually, I want to say, do you want to improve knowledge? Do you want to bring new technology, or you want to convince your boss? For what you told me before, I have an issue at my company, right? I'm trying to reach and bring new technology, but I think I'm focused on, okay, so you don't know how to learn the right way. All right, cool. Okay, very, very cool, Bruno. That's awesome. So one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to do a little bit of an explanation here, Bruno. One thing I'm going to tell you is that I do have a program for that, right? Exactly that, right? So, and I just kind of gave a cool discount for everyone if you want to participate on this. So if you want to come here, AAV.mn / skill mastery. All right, take a look at this link here, Bruno, just so you know. So basically, I'm not suggesting anyone to buy anything. You don't need to buy it. But on that page, there is an article. It's actually a sales page, but there is an article that tells you how to learn the right way. Okay, Bruno? So you can go read that. And before we join here, I put on a very nice price for all of you. There's a big discount. So if you want to take a look at that. Now, so now that's what I thought was the most important part, right? Try to convince my boss and people who work with me. That's what I thought was the problem, right? But you said you don't know how to learn the right way. So I already told you this, but I'm going to repeat this, Bruno. What I'm going to repeat is this, Bruno. you for you to learn the right way, right? For you to learn the right way, you gotta do it. So it's not about learning. Actually, I'm gonna write here because of the light. You gotta do it. So it's not about learning, Bruno. It's about doing. So how do you learn the right way? You define. So let's say you want to learn something, right? I want to learn Spring, or I want to learn Java, Jakarta EE. I don't learn microservices. I want to learn artificial intelligence, whatever it is. You define a small project, right? A project. Okay, and then you do it. You do it, and then you deliver it. Okay, you define a small project, you do it, and you deliver it. That's what you do, man. How small? I don't know. What is a cool thing that you want to do? Define it, right? Define what you're going to do. Well, I want to do artificial intelligence, but I also want to do microservices, but I also want to do mobile. All right, so let's define a small project that's a mobile app that connects to a microservices backend that use artificial intelligence to give me an answer. Right? Which answer? Which project? I don't know. So let's choose something small. I'm gonna use a artificial intelligence machine learning thing that for voice recognition, right? That allows me to say, to record a audio, send an audio to my server, and then have my server do something for me, right? So let's say, I'm getting out of the house and I need to send a message to my wife, right? So maybe I can record and say, send message, send message, and then I write a text. I mean, not a text. I say, hey wife, hey Karina, I forgot to close down I forgot to turn off the fire at the oven, right? Can you please turn it off for me? And then that would be a cool application, right? Then that server gets this little thing that I said, send message, and goes to my email, connects to and attaches the file and sends the file with the audio to my wife. All right, that could be a good thing. Okay, all right, so now that we have a project, I'm just kind of creating anything here, okay, man? Now that we have a little project, is this a very hard project to do? Not really, right? You can use APIs for voice recognition. You can create like one microservice that does that, and the tiny little app on your phone that does that. Maybe you can just do this with integration, right? It doesn't even need to do the app on the phone. Could just be, I don't know, could be WhatsApp. Then when you send a WhatsApp message, there's a Zapier integration that runs your microservice. I don't know. It could be something small. It doesn't need to be something very sophisticated, but it has to include everything that you want to learn. So then what do? You go do it and you deliver it. Right? You do it, spend like 2 days doing this. You do it, and you deliver it. But Bruno, that's not going to teach me everything about microservices. That's not going to teach me everything about mobile. It's not going to teach me everything about machine learning. Of course not. But it's going to give you experience with all those things working together. Right? It's going to get you to really understand what is all those things, how all those things work together. So you're never going to ask me again, hey, Bruno, how do I do a machine learning project? Because you're going to do it. You know how to do that. Make sense? Oh, but I don't know everything. Yeah, of course. You're never going to know everything. Right? So you just got to decide a small, useful, that's the point. A small, useful thing. All right? You do a small, useful thing, and then you implement it. You deliver. You get someone using it. Whoa, now I did it. That's how you learn, Bruno. That's how you learn, right? So, you get something that's a few hours. All right? Make sense? Bruno says, I really appreciate that. Awesome. So that's how you learn. Now, when you define the project, that's a cool thing, Bruno. When you define the project, you're going to say, man, I don't know any of that, right? I have no idea how I do voice recognition. I have no idea. So what are you going to do? You're going to learn. I'm going to write so small that you're not even going to see it, right? You're going to learn, right? You're going to learn a little bit, tiny little bit, enough for you to do your project. So I just need to learn voice recognition, a machine learned algorithm that does voice recognition so people can understand send message, right? I'm just going to do the smallest thing possible of learning for me to do it. I learn, do, learn, do, learn, do, learn, do. So by the end of the project, yes, you learn it, right? You learn a lot of little learnings, right? Learn. You don't know. So together, they represent a reasonable amount of learning, right? But the important thing is not that you learn it. The important thing that you did. Make sense? All right. Now, the second question Bruno asked, I think that might be even harder, Bruno. There is, how do I convince my boss? Right? And I think that's a good question because you're probably thinking, well, okay, I want to do this, but I don't have a lot of time to do this at home. Right? I don't have a lot of time to do this at home. So if I don't have a lot of time to do this at home, maybe what I should do is I should convince my boss, choose the technology, right? So if I convince my boss, choose the technology, then that's gonna be awesome because now I'm gonna know exactly because now I'm gonna be paid to do that, right? So now for you to convince your boss, the important thing, right? Your boss and the people around you, right? So that's what you said. I want to convince my boss and I want to convince the people around me, right? So me, right? So there's a lot of people here around me, all my friends in my team, and there's the boss, and the boss has another thing here, right? So the boss is on another hierarchy here. There's all the other bosses, right? For example. All right, so when you try to convince anyone, Bruno, there's two things you need to worry about. One is people at the same level as you, right? Not level in terms of, I'm a junior, the guy's a senior, I'm a senior, the guy's a junior. No. It's not level like this. People that are working with you on your team, right? People that you don't have, you don't tell them what to do, right? You're not the boss. They're not your boss, right? So people at the same level, people that work with you, right? Colleagues, okay? So if you want to convince your colleagues, you have to show them something that's good for them, right? Oh, guys, I'm learning machine learning. It's awesome. Let's do a project about machine learning here at the company. Then this guy's going to say, nah, I don't have time to do that. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I have to go home, right? They don't care. They do not care, right? They don't care about your project, Bruno. So they care about their things, right? They don't care about it. So what do? You tell them, you know what? I just learned it. I was in these events, with Bruno on the weekend. And, I learned from Eyal about machine learning. And Eyal was showing me that every developer that learns machine learning increases their salary. Oh, I want to increase my salary, so I'm going to learn machine learning. Oh, you know what? I've learned there's a project here at the company that people that want to do machine learning will be sent to work in the U.S. for a week. Whoa, I want to travel, right? So no one wants to travel right now, right? But this guy wants to travel. So I want to travel, right? All right. So, oh, I want to learn machine learning. You see, you tell them things that are good for them. You don't lie. I'm creating something examples here, right? Let's say the examples are true. It's not about lying. It's about showing them that, look, if you do this, that's going to be good for you. For example, you are doing tests and your friend's not, and you want your friend to do tests because, he's not doing and you're doing. So instead of you can saying, man, boss, we need to get everyone, to force everyone to do tests, or instead of bugging your friend, come on, man, why you're not doing tests? You're not a good developer if you don't do tests. No, all of those things are not going to work. Why you tell them, look, you know what? Last month, I went home every day at 5 p.m., right? And there's not once that my code broke the build, right? So then, now if you want to, you want to know how I did this, let me show you this task framework that I'm using. And that really helps me to nail down all the bugs before they go to production. Whoa, Bruno, that's awesome, man. I should use that too. Yeah, you should use it. Let me teach you, right? So colleague says, use their interest, right? Yes, use their interest, right? So you want to go home early like I do? So let's do testing. All right, so you do goods for them, right? Good for them. Oh, by the way, Bruno, what if I'm the boss? It's the same thing, right? If you're convincing the other boss at the same level as you, you talk about things good for them. Make sense? Now, what if I want to convince my boss? My boss is hierarchy, right? If I want to convince the hierarchy, that changes things, right? Because my boss, he's also interested in things that are good for him, of course. But what's good for my boss? What's good for my boss is what's good for his boss, right? What's good for my boss is what's good for the company. Bosses, managers are responsible to get the company going, to get the company moving, right? So it's not about, oh, let me see what's good for me. No, so let me see what's good for the company, because if it's good for the company, it's going to be good for me, because then I'm going to grow, right? So then if you wanted to convince the hierarchy, especially if your boss does not have the authority, that's even more important. If your boss does not have the authority, he has to ask to someone else. That's even more important. But even if he has authority. So if I want to convince the hierarchy, right? If I want to convince those guys here in the hierarchy, then I have to tell them what's good for the company. All right? I have to tell them what's good for the company. It's not what's good for them, but what's good for the company. Because if your boss can show the hierarchy, look, I have this employee of mine, Bruno, that he really wants to do testing, right? And he just showed me this he made this plan, and he showed me that if we spend $5,000 implementing testing here in our projects, that's going to reduce the amount of downtime in our project. It's going to save us in 6 months. It's going to save you $100,000 because of doing tests. It's good for the company, right? And good for the company a lot of times has to do with money, right? Let's be honest with that. So if it's good for the company, now your boss can bring that to his boss and get the approval that you need to do that. All right? So if you want to convince your friends, you want to convince your colleagues, you show what's good for them. You want to convince your boss, you show what's good for him. Now, there's one important thing. Your colleagues, they speak your language, right? Your colleagues they're technical. They speak your language. They understand what you're talking about. Your colleagues. Your boss, he speaks the company language. He speaks the hierarchy language. He speaks the business language. So if you want to convince your boss, it's your responsibility to speak your boss language unless your boss is in some way technical like you and understands you better than you think. All right? That's a way to do that.